Hey guys and gals, let's build Cruella de Vil and Maleficent by LEGO Brickheads. This is set number 40620, contains a little over 300 bricks. So this are the two things that we're building today. So I'm not really into Brickheads much, but let's see how these go. And here's the two instruction manuals. And these are broken down in such a way that you can build with a partner. So if you have somebody who likes to build Lego, you can build one and the partner can build the other. Okay, so we're not interested in that because that's bag 2. There's 2 groups of bags here, 3 bag number 1s and 2 bag number 2s. And that's pretty much what we're doing. We're starting right off. So let's start with bag number 1. Okay, and we're going to dive right on in here. And just as a fun little note, I was almost about to build until I realized I forgot to hit the record button on the phone recorder for better audio. So I thought, well, I could either leave it or fix it. So I decided just to say, no, we're going to just make it simple and redo it. I was building it and found out it would be different. So, since I've been doing tutorials and stuff, I've been slinging them out, and I got a nice horror story to tell. I just got done with the tutorial that used reddish brown, and all was well until I was building the last portion, and I'm looking for a downwards tooth piece. And the reddish brown or brittle brown started to break. When I got done with the tutorial, I heard a little bit of cracking, but didn't see anything with it. But when I was moving the build around, it fell off my table and the brown pieces just shattered. And that was it. I'm going to release the build with reddish brown, but when I do newer future builds, and I can't find that last tooth piece, there it is, I will no longer use reddish brown in my builds. Okay, that's it until Lego can shape up, and I'm hoping they're listening to this because I really want them to fix that color. It's a nice color, it's just too brittle for me. Oh, and I'm filming this on January 31st, 2023. So this is the last portion of the month too. Oh, that's not supposed to be black. Oh, and by the way, if you make a mistake, this set does not come with a brick separator, so you will be in deep doo-doo. This is a vampire. So the whole intent of these type of builds is the build experience, and I had a gentleman comment on one of my videos about well, actually I've been getting a lot more comments, not just one person in general, on the LEGO mission sets on how bad the app is to load up, and the guy appreciated these type of videos. And the whole point about doing these build experience videos, and that's kind of like what I'm calling them now, is the experience, you know, from my point of view, somebody like myself who, you know, could be on the spectrum or something like that, you know, especially somebody like myself who has autism, can just keep my interest. Is it going to be a fun build? Am I going to get frustrated too easily? That kind of thing. And, you know, so far, well, I'm not frustrated on this one. So this is pretty good. Now, maybe to somebody else, this may not be exciting, but, you know. But yeah, those Lego mission sets, Lego had a good intent for those. They were just executed so poorly. You know, I read the reviews on the Lego website. You couldn't believe all the positive reviews, and I'm like, really? I mean, seriously. So I don't know. I guess to each his own, but for me, yeah, if you have a disability or you get very impatient, Lego mission sets are not worth it. It's just getting past the technology problems is the issue. Wait a minute, you know what? There's supposed to be plates that go underneath those. I wasn't paying attention until I saw the call out. Oh man, I tell you, today it is humid. We're in the 60s right now, but it feels like it's 80. So yes, I'm ready to flip on the air, or just flip on the dehumidifier to clean up the air. This is like my second BrickHead set I've ever put together. And so far, am I really pleased with, let's put these things on first. Am I pleased with the build on these? It's hard to say, you know. I'm not really a fan of Brick Heroes. I've never bought a set before, so I really say I can't judge it. But, you know, if you're like a city builder, or you're like me and you build more like city scale minifigure stuff, these are kind of, you know, just going to be blunt, not really of taste. Well, for me anyways. Maybe for a young builder, this is probably something fun. Mainly as a display piece for like a shelf. Some people display these, so they're pretty good for like, if you've got a Lego room with a nice setup, you can do that. Oh, that's a big old hole in there. I think something's supposed to snap in there. So pretty much, you know, we have these. Why are we sticking the little ones on here for? And the camera's starting to sing again. I've noticed the audio has been a bit low on some of these. I'm learning how to use the software more and how to crank the audio up, so I've been turning the dBs up slowly. I don't want to get the audio too much where it's garbled or clipped out, but I don't want to have somebody turn their sound up on their computer too, or their smart device, and it's just blaring out when they stop it. So I'm slowly figuring things out and stuff like that. You know, just tweaking around with it slowly, figuring out how everything works. But yeah, I couldn't believe the reddish brown is still an issue today. Lego says they fixed it. Well, I'm not going to get into all that. I doubt they have. I don't know what this... Well, we know this is Cruella de Vil, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know what we're doing here. We won't know until we're done. We won't know. My goodness gracious. Yikes, there's a lot of snot bricks in here, and I got 2 pages that are stuck together that just refuse to come apart. And this is an afternoon build. I just got done with the unboxing. So I just got done with that. And now we're starting with the build. Wait. Oh, hold on. I'm making a mistake here. Okay. One of these goes here, and you got to put the corners here. That's my bad. Okay. Well, that's kind of colorful. Is that the brain in there? It's all different colors. It just randomly just throwing some parts together. In fact, I can't even find the round purple plate. Did they forget to send me one, or am I just not, or am I looking too hard? I got the green ones in there. Alrighty, I think we're either that, we're missing a piece. Here's the pink. Let me make sure here. And I don't think I have those in purple. If I'm missing a part and it's not my end but Lego's end, usually I will ding off points for that, because at that point it's considered incomplete. Let's look at this pile of brick over here, and I don't see one. Already having technical issues. Let's check the bags here. They were all bag number 1s. And yeah, there's 3 bag number 1s. Oh, okay, I see it. It was still stuck in a bag. All right. Lego goes by weight on these, but I kind of use that term loosely. And yes, I've had my share of pieces being lost in brand new sets. So, before I can point the finger, I got to make sure. So try not to get too ranty on these. But I'm glad, though, I'm hearing some decent comments about, you know, some people enjoy these. Some people don't enjoy the honesty on these. And I know I'm getting a lot of comments, like from Janet and Ingrid. Thank you for watching and taking your time to put up with my rantiness. And yes, I do sound a little stuffed up today. I woke up this morning not only with an allergy attack, but with an asthma attack too. And I guess the air quality must be so horrible that I'm having a hard time breathing. And I'm like, oh no. You know, it's like, yeah. Hope I got this in frame. I can always use sand green tiles. Okay. Sorry, I have to put the tiles on there. I have to line them up because I'll really go OCD on that. Yeah, so reddish brown, and I'm going to make a video when I get done with the campground. You know that big, long motorhome that I built? Yeah, I'm going to have to take that apart, and that's got a lot of reddish brown in there. So what am I going to do with that? Make a video of deconstructing it and see if we have anything that breaks. I'm documenting everything that breaks now that's reddish brown. I shouldn't have to do that. And Lego, if you're watching this, I really shouldn't have to do that. But you know, that's kind of disappointing, you know. And I know some people say, well, Jay, it's just a kid's toy. Why does it matter? Because this hobby is expensive. It's not cheap. You know. Well, Jay, they send you Lego pieces. No, these are brown. They don't send me reddish brown just because they like me. I have to buy those myself. I don't. And to buy a piece, unless it's a very valuable tutorial, I'm not wasting my time. So let's say I'm building a tutorial. Let's say I'm building a table and it's using reddish brown. I will use red. Or I may use dark orange or maybe dark tan or sand yellow. Now my friend Texas132, she has been telling me that she's had dark brown starting to break on her. That dark brown, and I've been buying some of that up, and I thought, whoops, that doesn't go there. I've been buying some of that up because I want to start swapping out the reddish brown. But if browns are going to start breaking, what do I use after that? Probably black. It would not be a color that I would like to use for furniture builds, but, well, you guys and gals who want me to build modern stuff may get your wish. It may happen before you know it. So I'm just kind of like, you know, but this right here is a safe build. I don't see any fragile colors in here. So I think we're okay with building with this. And somebody had mentioned that Lego doesn't like hearing those type of negative things. Well, you know, I mean, would they rather have me lie to them and tell them that nothing's wrong? Because if I'm a person that's designing a product, especially in the software field, I don't want to just claim something when my software doesn't do it. That just would be lying and stuff like that. So for me personally, I'd rather just be honest and like, hey, we have an issue. We're going to try to figure out what is causing it. And I wish I can just trade my reddish brown in for something else. I wish Lego would fix it and just replace it for me. I know you can go through customer service and they'll replace the parts for you, but you know, I don't know. I would need to. I don't want them sending me any more reddish brown just to have that break, and it becomes a hassle to constantly get it replaced. You know, so instead of just dealing with that issue over and over and over again. In addition to the browns breaking. And we're not talking about old brown that came out back in the late 80s, early 90s. We're talking about brown today. Also, dark red. Be careful with dark red. That gets brittle too. I have a whole bin of slopes that I cannot use for building things. So I'm going to assume that this is going to be unique on both sides. Sometimes I don't follow the instructions, but I'm looking at 2 or 3 building things at one time. Yeah, the building guide on this is broken down to where I notice it's on the slower side on building things. So I think this is more targeted towards younger builders. So if you're an adult putting this together, yeah. You know, I'm building it over here. I want to just turn the camera that way. Uh-oh. And I forgot to read my disclaimers. I'm thinking about, instead of reading the disclaimers off millions of times, I'm going to start just putting the disclaimers in the video or in the description. So yes, I'm going to write that up. Instead of mentioning the disclaimers wasting video time, I'm just going to put them in the description. And just tell everybody to read the description for the disclaimers on things. It'd be a lot better. Alrighty. Yeah, while I'm doing this one right now, I'm uploading part 8 of the castle build. So I just got done editing part 8. I got the review of the castle done. It's up on YouTube. I just haven't published it yet. And in addition to that, I'm also starting to do the editing on the Queer Eye set. Okay, so if you're waiting for the Queer Eye set, that's coming around pretty soon. You probably already have seen it by now. That goes like that. You probably already have seen that video by now because these are not going to be released for a while. I can't tell you when they're going to be released because even I don't know that. Well, I do. They give us a blueprint of when this stuff is due. And that's got a nice texture on the side. And we got to do, yep. So it's the same thing on this side, just in different colors. But I can't tell you much of anything. The only thing I can tell you is that they will be released. Now, the Queer Eye set and the Castle set, there's no embargo dates. I don't have to follow any rules. The only thing I have to follow the rules on it, Lego did send that to me as a gift, and I have to mention it. So I consider it as a paid promotional thing because they sent it to me. So I will log it as such. Anything that I pay for will not be listed as that. So like the Queer Eye set is not a paid promotional offer. So you don't have to worry about seeing that notice coming up. It will not tell you. It'll just be like, this is just a normal set that I bought. Matter of fact, I just thought of this, since this is considered like we have black and white hair. I've never done two-toned hair before in my life. Well, I'm too old for that stuff now. Well, maybe not, but I can't do the fun stuff anymore like that. It wouldn't be a business appropriate, especially when you're dealing with older clients. They don't quite understand that stuff. And I've had that happen one time. I think I may have mentioned it on here. I had a client that said I was not trustworthy because I had pierced ears and stuff like that. And when I was a lot younger, I had the bleached hair, the silvery hair, and, oh, you're not really trustworthy because you look like that. Okay, yeah, that's your opinion. Ended up hiring me for a job anyways. You can't judge a book by its cover, and that's so true. And I need one that's the other way around. So yeah, so far I'm satisfied with the build quality on this set. So I'm not ranting through it. I'm not bitching through it or anything like that. So far it's pretty good. It's pretty good. And then we got the back part here. I mean, it's backwards. But the only thing I'd have to say is, wait a minute. Okay, there's a piece that goes at the bottom down there. It's like, I'm missing something. This must be part of the hair down here. I thought this was fangs or something, but no, they are not. And yes, for the most part, my trip is canceled. I was talking about taking a break, hitting the waves, and due to family things right now, I can't. So I'm just kind of slow down on that again. And work starts for me in about 10 days. And at least I will, well, one good thing about it is that I will have plenty of things to do. Not what I want to do, but I have plenty of things to do. And then the second thing is, well, I'll be eating out more again. Because the thing about being a bachelor is you don't have somebody to cook for you. No, I'm not going to hire a housekeeper or anybody to do that. I can do that myself. But that was the one thing, though, when I'm off, is I get to have steaks and all that stuff and barbecue. And when you get home about 7 o'clock, or you get done with your work late or whatever, you don't have a lot of time to cook. You just have enough to get a quick bite to eat, go home and go to bed, rinse, repeat. But I'm lucky I only have to work 4 days out of the week. But I'm on call 7 days. So, yeah, not too fun there. Not too fun. But, you know, it's part of life. You know, you got to do that kind of stuff. And see if I'm still recording here. Alrighty. I guess we had to make a piece that fit in there. I bet there's one that goes on the other side. And that's exactly what it is. And how I knew that is the page was stuck together. All right. So be careful with your manuals. You may get a piece or a page that may stick, and you may just skip over a whole step. So I'm trying to really check that out as I go. Is that supposed to hang over like that? Hold on. I can't tell in the manual right there. It looks, yeah, it does. It hangs over. So if you think you're missing something down there, you're not. It's meant to hang over like hair. So like that fits all the way in. Well, that piece there didn't go in too well. How did I pass that up? Oh, I'm getting a little sloppy there, Jay. You gotta slow it down. Okay. So yeah, I think this channel, I was going to call it something else, but I think now since we're doing more of the builds, the troubleshooting, the build experiences, so I'm not going to release that just yet on what I'm going to call it, but you'll have to stay tuned for that one. But it will be called something that would be more fitting for this channel. At least I don't do speed builds through it all and say, well, it's up to you to figure out what I did. Of course, I could just take this whole thing, mute the sound, play some piano or heavy metal music, and say, there you go. Alrighty, but I'm not going to do that. And let's make sure these go like this. We must be having that room there to clear it. So that's how it goes in like that. They're sideways. Thought maybe I was doing something wrong there, and I gotta make 3 of these. We'll go ahead and do these real quick here. Yeah, summertime is just around the corner for us. We're getting our spring showers already, and yeah, and tomorrow's gonna be February 1st. That means I survived one whole month of 2023, and it's not gonna get any better for me. Well, that just disintegrated. Thought something went in these holders. So when you're putting this in there, this is going to come crumbling apart. So when you're putting that together, and no, I'm not going to censor that out for the kiddies that like it filtered. That's the whole point of these videos. Yeah, this is going to be a complete turd to put together at the bottom. And yes, that will degrade the build quality, because why don't we have support down there? So when you put this in there, you're going to have to hold in like that because this is not very strong here. This is very loose. So, all right. And we're building something. I don't know what it is. Yeah, but I've been slowly picking out the manuals and putting them on my Patreon. I had one more request for Rebrickable, so I'll put another one of those on Rebrickable. The problem with Rebrickable is I have to write a whole new set of assets and stuff, and it just takes like an hour to do just one. And this fits right in there. You know, if this was that light purple hair, you could make that into James from Jesse and James, the Pokemon series. That's what the hairstyle kind of looks like, just not the right color. All right, well, that fits right in there. Wow. Okay, guys and gals, this is going to get, like I said, this thing here is really falling apart. This is kind of, well, I'm just going to bluntly say it, piss poor construction. Jay, you just said a bad word. Yep. And that's exactly why I do these videos, is to bring out the good, bad, and ugly of a set. If I have to spend time to rebuild the same scene over and over and over again, yes, this is instantly dropped down to an 8. That's the best that this set will ever get, just because of one instance. Because this is the second time this thing has broke. And I'm getting frustrated with it. You saw how this thing is just so brittle down here. It was starting off really good. And yeah, this is part of the build experience here. If you have to spend time to rebuild the whole thing again, yeah, that's it's almost like there's something missing in here. Unless I made an honest mistake, but that's it. We have a lot of the little slopes, though. Did I forget some stuff here? Got a lot of white slopes. Let's make sure here. And yes, I could be building my own mocks and stuff too. I think I forgot a few pieces in the back. I think there might be slopes that go in there. There's 3 extra slopes. I've never known Lego to give me this many slopes, so I might have forgot something here. Or maybe they were supposed to put extra parts down there where it's brittle and falling apart. Why do I watch this guy? He complains too much. Well, that's the whole goal. If I forget something, that's my fault. And I don't see where the extra slopes go. And these pages are very sharp. I gotta be careful. I don't want to get another paper cut. Well, I'm not sure where those slopes go. It could have just gave me extra. I'll check it on the pitch on the box. And this is meant to sit here. And honestly, as brittle as that is, that's where she is going to sit. It looks like we're missing something around here. Like, you think that these slopes would be there. Let's take a look at the guide here. Okay, I never put the ones on the top. See, that's my mistake. That's my error. That does not count towards the build experience, because I could have forgot that. But when that thing was crumbling underneath, that was very bad. So far, 2 points knocked off because of that. That bottom part is very brittle. Imagine. Well, it's for 10 and up, so I'm assuming a 10-year-old will probably put this together without a problem. And that's what's remaining for bag 1. Not too bad. Now let's move on to bag 2, and I'm hoping this one here is not going to be as brittle. And yes, it looks like goth colors. I'll slide that one over there. And I already forgot her name. Looks like Elvira from the Elvira show, but that's a Maleficent. I believe I'm pronouncing that right. Okay, and why does Lego show these silhouetted out? I have no clue. It's like they're almost trying to make these Super Mario sets. Okay, and the colors in this palette are pretty gothic. Well, those are nice color schemes to go together. That's pretty cool. And so the other one was about 35, maybe 40 minutes of build. So, alrighty, so we got to come in here. Oh, we got to make 2 of something, not that one though. Set that off to the side, and then we got to make 2 of these red things here. But for the most part, though, except for that one problem with the legs on, I think that was Cruella de Vil, I haven't had any issues with things breaking on here. So that was probably the only thing I've had problems with. Nothing's repetitious or anything like that. So I'm not going to say, you know, it's bad or anything like that. And yeah, I'm going to try to get this done in one sitting and do a complete review really quick. And my camera's singing again. And I need to put one of these on one side. Oh, Lego, too bad you don't make a piece that fits in those corners. I can use those pieces for a baseboard for my house. I remember a long time ago, there was a guy who made a Lego house, a full-size Lego house you can walk into and stuff. And I don't know what happened. I think they destroyed it or something, tore it down. I thought, oh, they should have just transported that somewhere and have people go through it and walk through it and stuff. I forgot to mention this in the brick exploration. I wish that wasn't in black, though. But I thought, oh, I would love to just go through there. Somebody asked me, why don't I build a house in Lego? If you're going to build it in Lego, you may as well build it out of Duplo. But I'm sure that the house would be, well, it'd be drafty. It would be pretty drafty, pretty creaky and squeaky. And you wouldn't be able to build it out of Lego alone. You would actually have to have, like, you know, like a regular house, you have like studs and a foundation. You would actually have to have all that too for it to pass code. And for, you know, like the walls, you would just have to use the bricks around it, and you would have to insulate it. But since the bricks have holes, you'd actually have to have a vapor barrier and stuff. So you'd only be able to use Lego bricks for a decorative exterior or interior surface. It would not be something that would be practical, and we got to make 2 of these. So, you know, could I build a Lego house? Could I do it? If somebody were to fund a project, yes. I mean, I wouldn't be able to. That would be a lot of money to fork out, and I do have the land to do such a project. But it's the cost that would make it not worth my while, anyways. And stuff like that. So I wouldn't go that whole route of building a whole house. And definitely if you're making stuff with brittle brown, ooh, my goodness, like a chair. I mean, you would just have to put a sign on that chair. Don't sit on this. This will break. You'll most likely fall through. These must be the little arms. So I'm telling you, this is probably the base. So we're doing things a little backwards on this one here. Matter of fact, I'm thinking about doing this type of starburst effect around mine. I do have a one that I was playing around with, but it's just a regular old circle. But I may end up doing what Lego's doing. Just have to rewrite my function up a bit better to do it. And yes, I do use a stud for the building guides, but well, that's a nice transition to that. But there's not a little bit of a black in there, but the point about eventually is to make a really good, efficient building guide technique. Like, I'm getting faster writing up building guides, so it's not terribly bad to get them done now. The houses, the big stuff, usually they're really bad because they're just bigger. I got to make 2 of those, and just more time involved into building those big creations. Oh, in February I'm going to bring out short videos. I've noticed I'm getting more subs by doing those. I did a few on my main channel. I was getting subs, so I'm going to start doing more short form videos. Basically just updates. Like, here's an update on the campground, and just show really quick excerpts of that build, and then that'll be it. You know, or maybe just say, what do you guys think about this build? You want to see more? Subscribe, you know, that kind of thing. And I think that'd be a good way to get more viewers and stuff to the channel. So that won't happen until tomorrow. As far as for the campground, after this batch of sets here, I have one more that I got to build. I got a bunch of poly bags that I got to put together, but they're just poly bags. Those you can do in one sitting. Like, I have that Lego Friends fireplace that Lego sent to me as a Christmas gift. So that employee gift that they have, I want to do that one. So I'm going to put that together. And I have a friend of mine, he's keeping his sealed in the box for resale value. I'm opening mine up. I'm in this hobby for building things. I am not in it for hoarding and invest. This is an investment, is by doing this, is to build things. This is the fun part about doing the Lego hobby, is to build stuff, to build things. I don't want to just look. I have a big giant Lego collection. It's all stuffed in box, like it's all box sets and sitting on a shelf. Like, I still have that castle and spaceship that nobody wanted, so that will just be used for. I'm not parting those out. If I can't find anybody who is loco that would really want it just to build without reselling it, I would like to give it to somebody who would enjoy that build. Everybody I know who wants it. Well, no, there's one guy I know he wants it, but he's in a different location, and shipping would be atrocious to ship that. It's expensive, and just to have it arrive to him in one piece it'd be a nightmare. Unless he's in my neck of the woods. I said, you know what? If you're in my area, you could stop by and pick that up and that spaceship up. I don't need them. I don't want any money for them or anything. Just take them. You know, they're just sitting there. They're sitting there, and they're just sitting in a box. But if nobody really wants them, then they'll just hang on to them. I'm not going to part them out. I know some have suggested, why don't I just do a complete part out? Whoops. Or build another castle out of it. I'm like, yeah, well, I'm a mock builder. I don't want to have any more of that. You know, just to have all these extra sets. Yes, I could use the extra parts, the extra profile bricks, but that's kind of a waste of a really good build experience for somebody who doesn't have one or can't get one. And yes, I know when they retire that stuff, the price balloons up. But I'm in this hobby for the build, not for investment. You know, that's, I mean, to each his own, you know, that's, you know, and there's some serious money to be made out of stuff like that. Why don't we stick a regular one here? Okay, in the back they want me to piece this one together like this and put it down here. Why don't we just use a whole one? Are we trying to add extra pieces to this Lego? I don't know. To make it seem like we got more pieces than what we need. Okay. And this goes here. Well, at first I thought this was a rear bumper here. This must be the face. Looking mighty pale there, huh? Mighty pasty. Yeah, so I'm planning on, for my next Lego home, is to avoid using reddish brown. And unfortunately, the original building guide had reddish brown, the rough draft of it. So now I have to really think about changing the color. I mean, I know there's more red than reddish brown. So it'd be pretty interesting. See, they have that Starburst stuff here. So I'll think of how I want to do that eventually. Like I said, I could probably write up a formula and put it in Photoshop. Well, at least this one's not falling apart like the other one. We'll see how well this builds experience is. Now, obviously, with these models, you can't play with them. Trying to think what I want to make for a dinner tonight. The other night, everybody wanted Chinese food. And I'm like, okay, sure, whatever. That's like, I'm not much into Chinese food at all. I was like, well, we can go out to a restaurant for the evening. Oh, I don't want to do that. I'm like, okay, Okay, so we got to put a thing around this whole thing here. We got to make 3 of those. Jay, why do you talk about personal things? It's not really personal. It's just, sometimes it's just on my mind. I'm like, why? Venting is always a good thing. It's just when it gets too ranty, it's a problem. I mentioned in a few installment issues ago, I had an ex-friend, and that's all she did was vent and rant and complain about things. Sometimes you just need to do something about it, Even I get like that from time to time. It might be due to age, I don't know, but like sometimes I'll rant about something like spur of the moment, ad lib type of thing. Well, this is hard to grab hold of. There we go. All right, and these go on the bottom. I like this color purple. The thing is, though, guys and gals, I don't have a lot of purple in my collection. And no, I'm not going to hoard it up. My lucky to be brittle purple. Also, I think the reason why we're all experiencing, if this is a duplicate, I'm going to do that instead. Let me take a look here. Okay, we got a mirror here. I think the reason why also brittle brown is brittle as it is because a lot of us use those colors. Like brown is kind of a unique color used for furnishings, for nature stuff. So, and just to have it break. Yes, I'm still kind of bent out of shape on that breaking, but it was on a tutorial. Okay, the head is this way here. Okay. What's going in there? Bunny ears? Matter of fact, speaking of that, I remember there was this one gal in high school that had a crush on me, and yes, she was a goth. And for some odd reason, a lot of the jocks were dating goth girls. I know one that was like heavy into goth, piercings, tattoos, and later on she actually got her teaching degree and was teaching at the same school. I was like, oh, you know. She ends up getting her master's. Okay, we got to build 2 of these. Getting your master's is hard. Well, it's not hard. It depends on this. It depends on the discipline. Like for me, it was just it was a lot of work. Lots of studying, lots of research, lots of analytical thinking. It's not for the faint of heart. I'll tell you that much. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Okay, I thought that's how it went. No, that's not how it goes. All right. I go like that. So if you think that's where it's going to go, that's the first thing I saw. No. And then these go here. And there's a stud that goes on the top. Yeah, you're practically just piecing these together here. I don't know what they are. Oh, now I know what it is. It's the vampire stuff on top of her head. Spoiler alert. I saw it right there. I wasn't even paying attention. There it was right there in front of my face. Well, I could just see that coming apart pretty easily. Please, I don't want to ding it down any lower than this. All right, now putting that on there may be a bit of a chore. So I think put your finger there and just shove that in there like that. And you're just going to push them inward like this, there, and there. Just kind of tuck that in there. There you go. Maleficent. And we got to build the base now. So that's pretty much what it is. I'll have to get the Lazy Susan out and start doing this stuff here. Well, we didn't have a lot of leftover pieces. I mean, just one of each, not too bad. And then this just sits on here. Not too bad. And that concludes bag 2. What I'm going to go ahead and do real quick, unlike the other ones that I've done, I'm just going to go ahead and do a quick review on this one real quick. And then I'll do the final review on the other channel. Whoops, my bad. So yeah, there'll be a disclaimer in there for anybody who's gets tired of me bumping into the camera. So yeah, indeed, these two can be built separately, so you can have a partner help you with this. So that's what they are right there. Okay, quick run through for my build experience and stuff like that. This one here is a bit of a turd with the bottom. This is brittle. This will fall apart. So I'm not sure as to why they didn't add any more support under here. I don't know. And that's a nice build. Maleficent actually was easy to build, considering of the ears or something on the top, the bat wings or ears, whatever, I don't know. So, excuse me, I tell you, what is it, 2 in the afternoon? I'm already tired. So, my building experience was average with this one. This one here, it was flaky. This one here is pretty solid. So which leaves the build quality. This one's horrible. This one's pretty good. Well, let's say this one's okay with it, so that's not too bad. You can't really play with these. You really can't drop these in the Lego City. They're just meant as shelf queens or shelf hogs. They just take real estate space on your shelf. So that's basically what these are, just to look at and admire. So if you're heavy into Brick Heroes, there you go. Not too terribly bad. I mean, they have detail. A lot of good snot methods and building techniques in each one of these. But for me, being a mock builder, like a city builder and stuff, I don't really see any. I don't really have any kind of. They're not appealing to me. In other words, they just don't fit with my style of building. Excuse me, but for the most part, though, if you're buying this as a set to give to a friend who's into this, I know some people who are heavy into Brick Heroes, you're not really going to be disappointed with the quality of these. It's just this one here, Cruella de Vil, was a bit of a challenge to put together, especially at the very end. But I think anybody who gets this set, it's to me, it's an average build. I have nothing really bad to say about it. So I'm going to say about 8, maybe at best an 8.5. For me, that's pretty good, especially for what these are.